I've always been interested in aviation. I mean, it's something that, since I was a little kid, I just loved going to airports. I loved seeing airplanes. So, it's always something that I've been into. But what really kind of got me into it and got it going for me, well, I was probably about 14 or 15, and my dad had a friend that was a pilot, and he was a private pilot. He was instrument rated, but he had his own plane, and I lived in South Florida at the time, and we went in his plane to the Bahamas. So this was pretty cool because, that's a pretty amazing trip, as a kid to just, get in a little plane and to see the water like that. And I was just, it got the bug, I basically just said, this is it, I want to do this, I want to do what this guy's doing. And I watched, everything he did. And what I remember was a twin engine. I don't remember exactly what type of plane it was, but it was a nice, plane that sat like 6 people, I think. So, but it was really a cool experience, because, going from just flying commercially and then being able to do general aviation, where we went to this airport and here was the airplane, and I'm walking around with this guy pre-flighting and pre-flighting the plane and seeing the process is just. Wow, I was just so impressed that you have that kind of control of the process, I guess, as a pilot, and especially when you're a private pilot or, you're in general aviation, you have that ability to just kind of, start to finish. You're the PIC, so, that was a pretty cool thing to kind of witness and to see that, maybe I could do that one day.
Well, I kind of had a midlife epiphany, I guess you'd call it, or, just kind of a bucket list kind of thing where, I always wanted to do flying. I never really knew how to kind of get into it, but, I ended up asking around, and they said, well, you could go down and do this thing called a discovery flight. Oh. And, and I said, well, I want to do that, and just, just to go flying again in a little plane, even if I don't decide to, pursue the pilot thing. Yeah. But I did that, and I just was like, okay, when can I start my lessons, Yeah. It was great, and then, I started the lessons, and I just said, I'm somebody that I guess pride myself on. When I set my mind to something, I follow through on it, and that was one of those things. I said, I'm going to get this license. I said, I don't care if it takes me 10 years to do it, Yeah. But I ended up getting it done in a fairly reasonable amount of time, and I got the certificate, so yeah.
So what certificates or ratings do you have now, and how many hours?
Well, I have my private, and I have about 300 hours now. I've had the private for about 2 years, but I'm still going to school. Another goal of mine was to finish my college degree. So I went back about 4 years ago, and I always did great with work, jobs, making money and all that, but never had the degree. And I said, well, another bucket list thing. It's something that I don't want to get to the end of my life or my working career and say, well, why didn't I get that? Because it's a personal goal that I really want to have, is have my college degree. Yeah. So thank you.
There's no airplane ownership now, but the plane behind you is 1163 Foxtrot.
It is.
Tell me about that. How you got into it?
Sure.
What is it?
Well, it's a flying club that I'm in, Mid-Tennessee Aero Club, and I got in through my friend Joe Avery, who's also, he does our Young Eagles flights for the EAA chapter, and he was in the Aero Club and said, hey, I know you just got your private, because he was maybe about 3-4 months ahead of me after he got his, and he said, hey, why don't you look into this, because you can save some money, because I was renting from the flight school, and great school, great everything, but price-wise, if I could save money, that's what I'm going to do. So, I looked into it, and it was something that looked like it was going to be very cost-efficient for me. So I went down and talked to the people that run the Aero Club, and they seemed to like me enough to have me come into the club. So yeah, and it's been great. It's a great opportunity to be able to fly something like this, and it's like ownership. But it's kind of a good stepping stone to ownership, to be able to come in, to have keys to the hangar here and your own keys to the plane, and just be able to fly it whenever that it's available. It's kind of like a timeshare, that I kind of look at it as a timeshare. So, yeah, I've been down to Dauphin Island, down in the Gulf Shores area, and I've been down to East Tennessee. country, and I mean all over the place in this, and it's just amazing. And I even went to Oshkosh this last summer, so put over 100 hours on this plane last year. So.
Sir, are you involved with the community? Yes, I am. Well, I like to just kind of get involved as much as I can, because if I want to make a career out of it, which I haven't completely decided if this is all leading me into flying for a living or not, but I know that as being in the business world, when I've interviewed people and been in business, I look for people not only with the skills of the job, but they have life skills, and they have skills as far as being able to work on a team. They've done things for the community. They've helped out, not just gone to work and that kind of thing. So yeah, thanks. And so I mean, my goal is to do aviation-related activities that can kind of give back as well. Because again, like I said earlier, flying is a privilege, and it's something that when you get a private pilot's license or whatever, or what have you, it's good to be able to give back to other people and help them attain that as well, because some people need to have, like for myself, I didn't know a lot about aviation, and I had people that I came across that were kind of pointing me in the right direction. So, yeah, so that's what I like to do, and I'm in a couple different organizations. I'm in the in EAA, of course, which has enabled me to do Young Eagles flights, and I did my, last year I think I got my pin for 20 or 25 Young Eagles. Cool. Yeah, so.
Perfect. So you're kind of making everything full circle with getting young kids to maybe get interested in aviation, kind of as you did.
Yes.
Just from that discovery flight, which ends up their discovery flight as a Young Eagles flight.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. So that's kind of a goal, is to just get back and help the kids out and things like that. But also I'm in the Civil Air Patrol as well. I've been there for about a year.
Oh.
And and that's great, because that's also working with the kids. We have the cadets that we do the same thing for, where we there's more of like a curriculum for that, where they have different things that they have to do. Like they actually learn stalls, and they learn how to with basically how the plane operates. So because their goal is to get their private also, Civil Air Patrol. So we're kind of like a mentor, which is wonderful. So anyways,
my goal was to go in and get hours, because with the Civil Air Patrol, they have airplanes, of course, and they allow you, once you get checked out in their airplanes, then you can fly those airplanes, and for different various reasons for them, their purposes, but you get the hours. So that's, I'm hoping to kind of, put my eggs in different baskets now as far as that's concerned. But I went in basically with the title of aerospace kind of teacher, because we have our cadets, and we do like a once a month training for the cadets, where we teach them about airspace and just basic things, but when I've been in now for a year, and I've seen other opportunities that they have, so I'm actually their quote unquote maintenance officer right now. Which doesn't mean I fix the planes, but I actually work on updating the GPS database in the plane every month, and I handle we have the manual with all the different regulations that come down from the Air Force for the plane. I have to update those, and just various other things. As far as the checkout forms that everybody fills out for the plane, I have to make sure that gets sent into their headquarters every month, and so there's a lot of different things that I'm doing now with that. So
my goal is to kind of just see by the time I get the degree at school and to get those tickets and all that. At that point, then I'll kind of have a better idea of really what my time frame is that I have career-wise left to get into something that's flying. Yeah. And also to basically, then I'll have a better idea. I think once I have a commercial ticket and all that stuff, I'll be a better pilot as far as knowledge of what my capabilities are and things like that. So I think at that point, then I'm going to decide. But if I had to decide right now, I'm really kind of leaning more towards corporate flying, or maybe going into like cargo or something like that.
Okay.
So, because I've worked in airports a long time. I love people, but I like to kind of more work with people like in a specialized area than to up just the general public, I think.
Okay, so cool.
Like I said, I went back to school, 4 years ago to finish a college degree because, I've always been in sales and customer service coming out of high school. I've always done well, but I never attained a degree, So I said one day, you know what, aside from getting my pilot's license, I would also like to get a college degree. So I'm in my final semester. I'm going to graduate in May from MTSU. Thank you. Yes, I know. Yeah, thank you. I just started this past week, we just started the final semester. So I'm going to graduate in May, and then once I'm done with that, then that kind of takes that off the plate finally. And then it's going to be full steam ahead on finishing my certificates. So I would like to finish my instrument this year. I'm hoping in 5 years to either be flying and making money doing it, or the route I would go is to just keep going in my business career and have my own plane by then and actually be flying, just for recreation, just for fun. And then I'll have my commercials so that I can, do something on the side to make money. And then if I do that route, then I would definitely get my CFI. That way, if I'm not flying for like an airline or something like that, I can at least teach on the side or something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Have you ever seen on movies where they clap, right?
Yes. Yeah, for
So it's audio
continuity.
scenes, right? All right,
Yeah.
so since everything is going,
Okay.
you clap.
When? Now?
Just clap.
Well, I'm kind of anxious because I switched carriers to Verizon. I had well, we're on camera. We had a different carrier before. Yeah. I won't bash them, but Sprint's terrible. But part of the Civil Air Patrol as well. That's another thing where my friend Joe Avery was in, and I guess anything that Joe does, I'm going to do. So I guess I'll be joining the what do you call it, the Marshals next.
Okay.
No, probably not, but he's a U.S. Marshal, so
Marshal?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I keep that in the video?
I don't know. You might want to edit that part out. Yeah.
I will. Yes, I will actually ask him.